I met a psycho. The person, he's walking up and he's on the phone with somebody. He grabs his... What's happening, y'all? It's Red. I actually did a poll on my Instagram, and it was either gonna be a Q&A video or if it was gonna, it was gonna be a story time. You guys chose both of them. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the story time, this video, and then the next one, if I can get this video to 5 likes, I'm gonna do a Q&A. If not, I'm probably just gonna do the vlog thing, and later on down the road I'll do a Q&A. And my Instagram is always down in the description. I'll also put it in the video most of the time at the end. I can put it right there, right now. Yeah, so I forgot what MEPS stands for. Y'all can kind of look that up, MEPS. But it's basically a process, it's a medical process where you're getting screened to check if you're eligible to, be in the military. It's a process that everybody has to go through. After you do your ASVAB and those kind of things and you pass, you will go through MEPS. And my experience through MEPS wasn't the greatest. Just the idea of me going into the military was very strong, but I didn't really know exactly. You never know what you get into until you get into it. And before I went in, I was so stuck on the idea of and the principle of I want to know what it really feels like to be a man in this world. And as a child at the time, being sheltered, even in that shelter, things happen, and you learn from those experiences. So that was my upbringing. There was a lot of things that happened, but with those things happening, it made me mature quicker. I went from being a really loud, talkative kid to not talking at all, really. Friendships weren't really the greatest for me because people didn't really reciprocate. And I feel like that was something that I wish I didn't really have that mindset, but it made me who I am today. So at the same time, I'm grateful for it. But reciprocation is something that I feel that not all people understand. That's not something that is common sense. But anyways, it's a little sidetrack. It has something to do with the story, so I won't say it's a sidetrack, but fast forward, 12th grade year, I was still wanting to play basketball, but not as strongly as I did when I first started playing basketball. I started playing at the age of 4. I played in rec games and, the little league games with, little league, AAU, different things like that. And the majority of my training was self-taught. So me dribbling, I didn't learn that from anybody. I didn't learn how to shoot. I apologize for that. I'm apologizing for something that's in my house. Anyway, hopefully it wasn't too loud though. Everything about me was just self-taught. So I wanted to self-teach myself in an environment that I knew was gonna challenge me, guaranteed. I didn't want to feel like, I'm walking around, I know what I'm doing, I know what I got going on, I know what I look like, I know, I know the deal. I wanted to go somewhere where I didn't know the deal. I wanted to be put in that new world. So my first taste of that was MEPS. I'm told to wake up really early, around 4 a.m. because we had to be at the gate at 6. It's about an 1.5 hour drive, so we waited outside for about a half hour. And the bus came up, it dropped the people off that had to go to MEPS, because some people took the shuttle there. And some of the people actually on that specific bus were gonna get right back on that bus, go to the hotel, and then they're gonna come back the next day, and then they had to do their medical stuff. Some people did their ASVAB, some people did both in the same day, but the majority of the time, it was split into 2 different days because You know, like if you took your ASVAB again, or you're gonna be taking your personality test, those kind of things. That was all in one day. The other day would be medical. Right? So the screening, okay, you know, does your body work? That's basically what they're checking. If you all snapped up, you're not joining the military. Right? So fast forward, I get there, and the atmosphere was different immediately. I felt like I had something to prove, which is a feeling that I never really liked. I had it my whole life. I always had that chip on my shoulder. Then I was working on getting it off. I didn't think I was gonna have to have it again. So when I went to those doors, you know, they had their procedure, and we all sat down in the lobby, and we were called to go here, called to go there, and I didn't really eat much beforehand because that night I snacked and different things like that, but I'm like, you know what, they're gonna have food there. So, you know, I'm there longer than I'm supposed to be there. I had went to become a cryptologic linguist, which is a different job. That's, you know, you're learning a different language, you know, you'll be bilingual. So you'll know English and you'll know whatever the fuck language you learn while you're in it. It could be Japanese, whatever it may be, right? Shoot, Arabic, whatever. You're just in a third world country and you have to relay information to where it needs to be. So I went. The person that dropped me off there, they left or whatever, and I ended up being there for almost, I think 11 hours. It was about 11 hours. I wasn't supposed to be there that long. And I actually had this test that I had to take. It was called the PICAT, I believe. I forgot the name of the test. But I'm probably gonna do my research and then put the name of it. Probably not neither. It's not really that important, but it's a test that you have to take to get that specific job. And it's basically to check how, you know, susceptible you are to learning a language. Like, is it gonna be easy for you? How easy is it gonna be for you? Is it gonna be hard for you? How hard is that? Pause. That kind of thing, right? So, you know, I'm there and they tell me the systems are down as soon as I get there. Double door, or you're not gonna be able to take the test today because, boom, right? Systems are down. They've been down for a week now. Your recruiter didn't tell you. I go, no, my recruiter didn't tell me that. So I start calling my peoples. They say, okay, we'll go ahead and you're allowed to go talk to who you need to, blah, blah, blah. So I go do that, right? Recruiter, he was like, yeah, man, you know, I just found this out just now. I apologize for that. If I can make my way over there, I will. Okay. Texted him again. I'll be there in an hour. Ended up not even coming. So at this point, I'm hungry. They got a vending machine. You know, it got snacks in there. It got Red Bull, whatever it may be. And these drinks are just terrible for your body, especially when you're empty stomach. You can't fall asleep, because if you fall asleep, you get disqualified immediately. I already can't do what I need to do anyway, and now you're telling me that you're gonna disqualify me, so now you're gonna write me off, like, no, you can't join the military, and I couldn't have that, because that was my plan. I didn't have no other plan. There was no, I'm gonna work somewhere else, I'm gonna make money this way. There was no military is where I'm going, it's my stepping stone, and I'm finna ride that out. You know, so I'm sitting there in my chair, I'm dozing off, right? Dude walked by, hey, I told you not to sleep. If you sleep again, I'm gonna kick you out. But he said it in his own Jamaican way. It was a chief in the Navy, because you see, he had his uniform on and everything. Everybody else is in civilian clothes. He was the only one that, all right, cool. So I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna walk around. So I start walking around. And, you know, I'm just thinking about how much it sucks. and you know, they said, all right, if you're here and you came at this time, you know, go in the cafeteria and go ahead and get your lunch. So I go in there, ooh, Subway. They got bread. It's like them little sandwiches. So they got bread, they got a little piece of cheese, some pepperoni, another piece of bread, and then they got little mayonnaise packets. They got mustard packets, stuff like that. I was hungry, so I did my thing with that. And then I bought me a honey bun. I bought me like 2 honey buns and a Bang, because I was just tired. I don't never drink energy drinks. When I played sports, I never did it because I was always geeked up no matter what. So I didn't need that stuff. Not even pre-workout, none of that. Like I was just clean, right? Kind of. So yeah, that's the route that was, you know, the path that I was taking as I was going through MEPS. And I was just kind of thinking of it like, you know what, I'm just going to finish this day off. I'm done with the Army. Army's done. And then I ended up talking to the recruiter again, and, you know, he was upset about how, you know, I was treated and all these different things, because these older folk, a lot of them that are in the VA and stuff like that, they just stank. Like, they just stank, right? I'm not even gonna speak on them like that, but a lot of them feel super entitled. So their entitlement was what pushed me to not really want to be around that in the first place. And I really should have gauged it off of them, because they were every single branch, Marine Corps. It doesn't matter. You know, people at your job, they're gonna be the way they're gonna be. That's how they're gonna be, right? Everybody got a different personality. But yeah, so, you know, days going or whatever, and you know, I'm kind of just checking my phone. Like every time that I got the chance to, I would go check the time, see if my recruiter said something to me, and you know, let my mom know about what was going on. And you know, later on down the road, these things were fixed. And they're like, you know what, we want you to come back, and we're gonna make sure it goes smoothly for you. So before I even left, the chief, the one that said that, you know, the systems were down and no one told you, the same one that said that he was gonna kick me out if he saw my eyes closing again. And by the way, there was multiple people that had their eyes closed. All ethnic groups, by the way, too. I just happened to be the main one that was black. And I never go that route, but I was just the main one that was, okay. He was too. So when he came up saying that kind of stuff, it was like, all right, man, so are you trying to keep me on my P's and Q's? Or are you trying to, okay. So by the time that we was done, I was done with the day, because I got there around 6 and I left around 5:30, right? 5:30, 6:30, so there's a lot of time, right? I'm supposed to be there just for the morning, and then my recruiter was gonna come and get me after I was done with all my stuff. I had to wait for the bus to get there. So I don't even remember the full day. I don't know if I did get on the bus. Yeah, the bus, I did get on the bus. The bus took me, I got on a shuttle bus. It wasn't like a city bus. And the bus took me back to Orlando, because this specific MEPS was, it was in Florida too. I'm not gonna put the location and stuff like that, but like, so before I leave, he tells me, man, you was here the whole time? I was like, yeah. He was like, if I knew you was gonna be here like that and I do nothing, I would have let you do your medical stuff so you wouldn't have to come back tomorrow. So me, automatically, I'm like, you made me stay here for 12 hours. And you telling me that I gotta come back again tomorrow and go through the same thing? You telling me that? Those things wasn't voiced from me, but it was my thought process. I was like, A couple months later, maybe 2-3 months. I didn't come back the next day, by the way. I came back, but I came back for the Air Force now. Maybe 4 months later, I came back for the Air Force. Same MEPS, had to go to the same place. You know, the waiting process was a little bit different this time. Me going was me going to the military. At this point, the time has passed. I'm swearing in the same day. I know what, you know, job I'm going to work. And, you know, that's that. I'm gonna kiss my family goodbye, and I'm going to rock. I gotta go. So they promised me a really, you know, a better time than before. I met some people really high ranking that told me that they were gonna make sure of it. So when I get there, we actually had to be in the hotels the first night. And then in the morning, the bus was gonna take us to MEPS, and then we're gonna be there a whole day. And then right after that, when the day's over, we were gonna be put on that same bus. I think that night, go to the hotel, and then that morning, we're gonna be going to get on the plane, which would eventually lead us to San Antonio, right? Which will eventually lead us to Texas. I'm ready at this point. You know, there's a lot of people that I am leaving behind. There's relationships that I had to soften up, meaning like I had to dissipate them. I couldn't really have them anymore. You know, but everyone that I ever was close to or got close to, I wanted them to know that I cared about them a lot. Even though I knew I wasn't gonna be too close to them afterwards, I wanted them to feel what it felt like to have that person that cared. Cause you know, when you haven't really felt that, you're not gonna go and ask for it. Sometimes you might just beg for it. I didn't want no one begging for nothing. If I could see it in your eyes, it was like, that's what it is. So the friend group and the brothers and sisters that I gained, it was like, that's what that's gonna be, and I'm gonna keep it that way.
One eternity later.
I know I can't do that right now. Like, that's time for you to spread your wings and listen to what I said and remember and go about your life. That was a couple relationships. I met a psycho. Like, I met a psychopath. Like, this dude he was jacked up in the head. I mean, as soon as I got into the hotel, I was waiting in the lobby, and I was waiting to get my room because they were giving rooms to everybody else that was gonna be leaving in the morning and who was gonna be staying or whatever, right? So they were telling us like, okay, you have this, and this is your room, and this is your curfew, and if we catch you outside, all that, right? We had to sit there and watch this video and everything. Then the person sat there and asked if we had any questions, and they relayed what the video said again to make sure that we really understood. We signed in, and we signed out, that whole thing, right? So I'm waiting in the lobby, and I'm sitting there for my food to come because I had gotten some Chipotle. And this dude, he's just really loud, you know, African-American dude, short, bald-headed looking. And everyone's basically talking about how, not even saying anything. He was the one that was just going at the mouth. And, you know, people would walk by and say, hey man, what you doing? Oh, nothing, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Come sit over here with us. He didn't go about that the same way when I walked up. As I walked up, it was, oh, I wouldn't mess with him out loud. And I just did a smirk. Okay, cool, smirk. But every single other person that came by, he would just press them. This dude was short, right? He like 22. This other person I'm talking about, not psycho. This other person, he's walking up and he's on the phone with somebody. He grabs this nigga, grabs him, picks him up, and he sits this nigga down in the chair. He's never talked to this dude, looked at him, smelled, whatever the heck sense you want to say. He's never ever saw this person. So why the heck would you grab on this dude like that? So as he releases this man, relinquishes him, he goes, hey, bro, like, don't play like that, because if we was back home, I would have popped you. I kill niggas over this kind of stuff. Or where I'm from, we killed, not him specifically, but we kill people over this kind of stuff. So he's like, oh, my bad, man. Now I said, hey, bro, like, that's crazy. Like, picking another grown man up like that, like, that's wild, bro. And I said, hey, bro, you know him, son? Like, y'all know each other? Because at first I was thinking they knew each other. And he said, nah, bro, I don't know this dude. I've never seen him a day in my life. And I was flabbergasted because if a dude did something like that, he gonna understand I'll do that to me or anybody else ever again. And that's not based on like, oh, I'm thinking about this, let me do it. No, like, it's just gonna happen. Like, those kind of things is just like, it goes from white and happy to red. My name. It's none of that other stuff. You feel me? So like, anyways, we sitting there and we eating, or I'm eating my Chipotle, because I had just gotten it. Person texted me on a DoorDash person, blah, 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 texted me, got my Chipotle, grabbed it, put it on the table, and I'm sitting down, and I'm just listening to this man talk, because he just talking to all the white folk. Because every other black person, he kind of would look at him and be like, I wouldn't deal with them. You know how some people can be more cultured and different. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they over there, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But that was him. He was in a more predominantly white area. So I guess he was more used to bullying or dealing with those kind of people. As soon as he saw somebody like me, he didn't really know how to deal with, talk to, or any of that stuff. Just his vernacular and everything was just different. His vibe, shoot, his lingo, all of that. He ain't had no lingo. His lingo was just awkward and weird. And then if somebody entertained him, it was like, all right, well, you know, I'm gonna talk out of pocket. A woman would walk up. You know, them podcasts, like No Jumper and stuff like that. He was talking to them like that. He never talked to them, seen them a day in his life. He's talking to them like it's out of pocket. Like it shouldn't be like that, right? So I'm just sitting back. I'm just watching this man talk and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, yeah. And then he looks at me and he starts talking to them again. And he's like, you know, like there's certain people I just wouldn't mess with, like him. Look at him. I wouldn't mess with that guy. He probably killed me. And I'm just sitting there chilling. Why am I in your conversation now? People can feel your presence whenever you got an aura like that. And it's not no, I'm not even the type of person, y'all gonna learn that. I'm not the kind of person to toot my horn. I feel like that saying's so old, but I still say it. I'm not the kind of person to, you know what I'm saying, like make myself sound greater than I am. Like I know who I am. So if I'm going somewhere, like you gonna feel my presence if I'm talking or if I'm not. And if I'm talking, you're gonna hear what I'm talking about. So as soon as, I guess, whenever I would say certain things, everybody over here would shut up. And they would look right at me and they would just see my approval on something. And I would just, I don't know, bro, I'm just chilling. All right, y'all, I'm finna go ahead and, matter of fact, when I had my food and I was ready to go, I ain't even say anything to nobody. Like, I grabbed my food, because I wasn't cool with none of these people. Like, y'all just entertaining me because there's a curfew that we have and we can't leave outside our room afterwards. And I ain't trying to play with that, because at that point, I'm playing with my money. So, basically, we go, I go to the room after things start dying down a little bit, and I'm hungry, so I'm ready to go to the room and eat. So I go in there, get my food, and I think actually as soon as I got my key, I went up. I don't even think I waited that long. I got my key and I was like, oh yeah, bet. Get away from these folks. Had a long day. I'm ready to go in and rest. Put the TV on. So I started walking through the halls, and there's like little cookies and stuff like that on the ground and stuff. And I'm just looking, oh, that's a nice little cookie. You know what I'm saying? I got Chipotle though. Feel me? So like, I'm walking and like there's a mirror and I look in the mirror, because every single time I see a mirror, I don't know what it is. I look at myself, I'm like, yeah. And I'll just keep on going. So I start going, second floor, boop, get out, get on my room. The key didn't work the first time. All right, don't play with me. Did it again, it worked. Opened the door, got in, put my food down, took my shoes off. Shoot, I was like, okay, there's 2 beds. I really hope that whatever roommate I get is not weird. Guess who knocks on the door 2 minutes later? Psycho. I looked through this peephole and I saw his bald ass head. And I'm like, there's no way this nigga is knocking on my door. Did he watch me get in here? I hope he doesn't have a key in here, right? Oh, I'm the one that has the keys. Okay. So I opened up the door. He's like, hey, man. My heart goes like this. I'm still cool. But my first thought process was, if this dude tries something while I'm sleeping, because he said he wouldn't try nothing. He wouldn't try me like that. So what if when I'm unconscious? So my faith in God was like, all right, you know what? If he does do something or try something, I'm probably going to, he ain't going to be, you feel me? If you know, you know. So like, I just prayed it, because God, like the first thought I actually had was like, God always puts me in a position where, like, stuff that people really won't be able to handle. Like, he'll put me in that position, because I asked for strength. I prayed for strength. So every single thing that I go through is going to be something that requires me to have it. And if I don't got it, I'm going to gain it through it. That's what most people end up dealing with. And I want you to understand that. That's a really important thing to learn, is when you pray for something, you're going to get that. It's just going to be in a different way. It's not going to be what you really expect all the time. So I'm like, you know, if something happens, like, Lord, like, just let me come out on top. I don't want to be sleeping and then I don't wake up, because I ain't going to remember it. You feel me? Like, I just didn't want that to be the way I went out. And I'm a really ballsy nigga. So as soon as, you know, because I ended up eating my food and I was like, all right, bro, I'm going to see you. You feel me? I'm about to go outside and go to the pool. So I went over to the pool, because there's not many places to go anyway. So like, the pool was going to be like that little spot, because I wanted to go to the jacuzzi, sit down in the jacuzzi, lay down, and just relax. It was hot. It was good outside too. Like, we're talking Florida. So like, and it was just breezy outside. Like, it was a calm breeze. It was calm. You feel me? Like, it was good. So I ended up meeting some other people down there that was talking to Psycho before I went up, and they were looking at him crazy. They was like, how do you feel about that dude? I said, man, he my roommate right now. I can't believe it. He's your roommate? Oh man, you finna have a fun night. Like, I don't know what you talking about. At this point, I'm kind of like done with talking to them for real, but I just still entertained, because it was a lot of time we had in the night, and I didn't want to waste that time just by being quiet. Like, I was like, let me network a little bit. Like, y'all can add me on Instagram. I add y'all on Instagram. I don't even think I added them on Instagram. If I did, they somewhere in my following. And I'm not Hollywood and nothing like that. I was like, y'all can see who I am and whatever. And, I really think I just don't remember like adding them back, because I actually always add people back. Like, if I tell you add me, I'm gonna add you back or follow you. I mean, there was a girl there and she was freaked out by the dude, and I was talking to him about how, like, if he tries something, I'm gonna shoot, that TV gonna be flying across that room, because at that point you just crash out, right? Yeah, I ended up, I think he actually came down. Matter of fact, before we even went to the room, there was a girl that was there, you know, brown skinned girl, curly hair, and she actually was a stripper. He was like, oh, you a stripper? Okay. That's cool. What's your room number? She said, take my number, I'm gonna text it to you. She liked this little bald nigga. To each his own. After hours, like I said, as a curfew, he ended up going to her room. He came to our room first, and they said, hey bro, I'm finna head out, finna go over there. And you know what I'm saying? If anybody comes to the room, just let them know. I said, I went to get some cough drops or something. I said, all right, bro, I got you. No. If somebody came to the room, I was gonna say, this individual is not here. Honestly, whatever the business is with him, I wasn't gonna tell them that, but I'm not finna I'm not finna get in between that kind of stuff, you know. That's his business. Ain't got nothing to do with me. I'll go find him. I'm good. So, yeah. He ended up coming back and he laid right down, and I was like, my back was to him and I was facing the window. And when he came in, he was like, hey, bro, what's up? He was like, bro, my back hurt. And I was like, your back hurt, bro? He was like, yeah, my back hurt. I was like, oh, okay. So he must have had some fun. And he was like, yeah, I had some fun. I said, that's good, bro. And he was like, you finna go to bed? As soon as he said that, I was like, yeah, bro, I'm tired. But now I got one eye open while I'm sleeping. I was not really going for none of that, like, let me just fall asleep and not care about this dude. Nah, because as soon as he tried something, I was thinking about the fastest way to get out of these covers. Okay, let me just get out of them. So I got out of the covers and I slept on top of them.
Wait a minute.
The covers. That sounded wild. I'm not gonna lie. That sounded crazy. So I was in my bed on top of my covers, and as soon as he started snoring, I looked over at him like, okay, let me make sure he ain't like capping about that. Like, okay. My eyes, like, I jerked up a couple times because I was like still paranoid, and then I went right to sleep. The next morning, he was putting his socks on, and he was like, good morning, man, you slept good? And I was like, yeah, I slept good, bro. What about you? Yeah, bro, I slept good. All right, cool. That's good. I got all my stuff. And yeah, that same morning I got some breakfast, went down, talked to a couple of the dudes that I met before, a couple of the guys, and then it was time to go. And that's that. The rest of it, like the plane ride and getting to the plane and stuff like that, I can make sure that I make another video if you guys actually mess with this story time. And I hope that it wasn't too long. I love giving all the different details. So I'm pretty sure there was more, but I don't know how long this video is right now, so, and I gotta edit. I actually said that I was gonna be posting it tonight. There was a video that I already had for a story time, but I didn't like the way it came out, so I just thought I would redo it right here. So again, I appreciate y'all for checking in and watching the full video. If you watch the full video, comment full, so I can really see if you really mess with my stuff for real. My homeboys haven't even texted full in the comments yet. So if they ain't watched it full, I know y'all didn't watch it full. But that might be a bad assumption. I pray that you guys have an amazing weekend. And I will be posting this. So again, y'all like, subscribe, and let me know how y'all feel about the next one. Stay blessed.